And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
And hopefully your Thanksgiving weekend is marvelous and that you and your family, friends, loved ones had an opportunity to really enjoy Thanksgiving Day together and to pause and take a moment to thank God for all of the blessings of this life, which He has so abundantly bestowed upon all of us. God is good all the time. And despite the Wuhan flu restrictions and lockdowns, shutdowns, etc., it looked like most folks had a pretty good time. You know, it was interesting to watch, though, here in Pennsylvania where I live, on Thanksgiving Eve, when our governor had locked down all the bars and establishments where normally there's a lot of revelry going on, we got these Amber Alert type warnings over our cell phones and television. Now in Pennsylvania, the Amber Alert system is generally for missing persons, especially kids, works really well. And we're getting this notice to wear a mask and wash our hands. It really has gone crazy because in my judgment, that kind of thing is the equivalent of the little boy who cried wolf. But there's some good news on the Wuhan flu front, and that is that it now appears that a vaccine's release is imminent. And even the Biden crew is saying that it appears that it works. Interestingly, they weren't saying that just a few short weeks ago. And the real question now becomes, will they and the media give President Trump and his team the credit for what Operation Warp Speed did at truly warp speed, bringing a vaccine to fight this pandemic in really amazing time? And speaking of taking credit, the media has been awfully rough on President Trump. We all know that, but guess who's figured it out recently? Andrew Cuomo, the Democrat governor of New York, said this week that Donald Trump had been treated unfairly by the media, whom he said were unprofessional, didn't always know what they were talking about, and quote unquote, asked very biased questions of President Trump. Voila, he even gets it. And the media really should be coming under increasing scrutiny for the absolutely miserable job they've done, not only during this campaign, but over the course of the last 4 years. And as folks flee from the mainstream media into other avenues, please just take a minute to, for this particular channel, like, subscribe, share, whatever you do with the best 60 seconds of your week, because we really want to, in 2021, increase our platform and let other people like it if you do. And this week, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 30,000 points for the first time in history. Something I've been talking about, as you all know, for a long time, finally occurred. Slipped back a little bit on Wednesday, just prior to the Thanksgiving holiday, but when you're in that territory, a little sell-off is to be expected and just okay. And the NASDAQ also in record territory at 12,100 and moving up. But there's some potential clouds on the horizon, because if Joe Biden in fact becomes president and ushers in a new administration, he's already telling the world that climate change is going to be front and center of his policy initiatives. Now think about that for a minute. With all the problems that we have economically and societally right now as a result of the Wuhan flu pandemic and all the lockdowns, shutdowns, etc., that have been occasioned by it, he's going to make climate change the thing that drives his administration. His people are already telling the media that every single proposed administrative official is being asked, are you, quote unquote, climate ambitious, whatever the hell that means. But we get one little clue in the person of John Kerry, who Joe Biden says he will appoint as his climate czar. Think about that. John Kerry, whose principal contribution to the climate change has been all the hot air that he's been blowing around for the last 25 years. I mean, here's a guy who jet sets around the planet on his private jets and gas-guzzling yachts and wants to drop by and give us lectures about climate change. The guy who wants to put us back into the Paris Accord, which taxes Americans for what's going on in China. Think about that. And India and other places in the world that are the real polluters. It's just really, really amazing that the Biden folks who flip-flopped all over the place on fracking are now in effect saying, yeah, there is going to be a war on American energy. Why would they possibly want to do that? It's really something to watch for, because John Kerry's judgments throughout his life have proven to be disastrous wherever he went. And remember, he's the guy, by the way, that told us that moving the capital of Israel to Jerusalem was going to cause all sorts of upheaval in the Middle East. And in fact, it led to historic peace agreements. So much for John Kerry, a gas bag if ever there was one. I hate to end it on that note, but for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.